Hello. Okay, so I want to talk about an interesting problem that I've been facing that I want to share with you guys because I don't actually have an answer. So maybe you guys can help me out. And it's related to actually defining a good metric. Uh, so maybe just to give some background, um, why do you need a good metric? So if you're new to product management or if you're new to machine learning, this actually comes on both sides. Um, so from a product side, yeah, we need a good metric because that's what a product manager does. That's actually just like product management 101. A good product manager will define the vision and the direction for the product. So they need to define like what's the metric for success. Uh, and sometimes that can just be something very simple as just hey, let's just get more clicks, get more likes. Uh, and then on the AI side, uh, you need a good metric for AI because that's actually just one of the fundamental things in order for an AI model to actually run or to actually train and actually learn on something. It needs a way to know, that it's improving. Um, so, yeah. So my problem that I'm having is, how do I avoid politically incorrect terminology? So if you guys don't know, I work in the HR tech space. So when you're dealing with hiring, when you're dealing with jobs and job descriptions, um, there's always room for things that are just politically incorrect, right? So like you might have, because our society has maybe things that are biased in terms of gender or even political affiliation bias. And all of this is just to say that because we have bias in our society, our AI models will inherit that bias, and that's very important for us to know that. Um, and, and these types of biases can be amplified by AI models. And so, one of the things that I'm facing right now is is that exact thing about just politically incorrect terms or just terminologies. Um, or if you're wondering what zip code, this might be a surprise, might not be. But if you don't know, zip code is actually a very good indicator of social inequality, I guess. Zip code is just one of those things that if you put your zip code on your resume, like that could easily be picked up as to like your economic status. Um, so yeah, fun fact. Uh, but anyways, yeah. So I thought to myself, okay, so all I really need is a good clean list of words, right? Of what are all the what's instead of fireman, I want firefighter, right? That sounds pretty easy, right? Instead of like congressman, I want congressperson. Congressperson? Congressmember? I think it's congressmember. I see, but like, do you see where my problem is? Right? Like, my problem is that like, what's good? Right? You can maybe ask somebody, be like, okay, like, what's the proper way to say this job title? Um, and that's pretty hard, right? That's because it's completely subjective. But on the AI side, what's worse about that is, well, there's no loss function for good. And so if you don't know what that means, the loss function is what an AI model actually uses to do the incremental learning. The loss, when you minimize loss, you tell the algorithm, what's the direction that it needs to go in order to do better. Um, so if there's no way to sort of measure that, and there's no way to let the model know where to go, then it can't actually learn. But so I thought about that for a little bit, and it's just like I'm not really getting very far with that. I did think of one idea, um, and that is maybe I could just like track like the complaints that I get, right? When someone complains that like a title is sexist, then like maybe we'll just track and just automate some way to remove that. Um, and it's not actually all that great personally. You know one my biggest problem with that from a solution standpoint is that it's purely reactive, right? And the reason why this is even a problem is that we just want to find ways to not even encounter that. So that's where I'm at right now. And you know, I have some food for thought about it, right? It's like it's more than just adding new terms, right? It's more than just uh, or it's more than just removing new terms. Sorry, I also need to think about adding new terms. And then with the whole like proactive versus reactive thing, when I think about a solution, I obviously want it to be more proactive, right? And this type of problem is a social problem. So I really feel like there's probably something else that I'm missing here. So, um, but I'm gonna think about this problem some more. But I think it's an interesting problem. So if you guys are running into a similar problem, reach out and let me know because I feel like this could this is not a type of one-off easy solution for it. But yeah, I would love to hear your comments about it. So feel free to leave a comment and let me know if you're thinking about the same problem. Thanks, guys. Bye.